So I don't understand why he's pretending as if that kind of rhetoric and spicing it up as if this is going to destroy people's way of living like they do. Like I said, Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro, they spend hours talking about this stuff, and not just talking about it as in a conversation. They attack these people hours after hours. What do you think is gonna happen? I didn't want to cover this story, or at least until later, because I don't want to have this channel grow because of other people's suffering, if that makes sense. I don't want to be those ambulance chasers like, oh, another mass shooting, let me be the first one to, you know, put out a video talking about who died and how many people died and who's the shooter. Like, I don't want to do that, because I actually have a conscience, and I actually have a respect for people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to monetize. I'm not even monetized yet, so I don't have to worry about making money on YouTube. But once I grow, I don't want to cover these stories, and if I do, it's not going to be, I don't want to say, but it would have to be something that would require me to speak on it now. But to me, that's just, you know, just bad money. But we got to talk about it, because of course there's bad faith actors out there. How can I say this? It is 91% their fault. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't care what you guys say in the comment. Go ahead, shoot your fire. You know, go ahead, take your shots. I am going to put 91% of this incident that happened in Colorado, my hometown, baby, on them. Now, of course, once we hear some of these weirdos talk about this, we will connect the dots. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to Tucker Carlson. Okay, he's on Fox News. Millions of people watch him across the world. So let's see what this guy has to say.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. On Saturday night, as you may now have read, a 22-year-old man called Anderson Lee Aldrich walked into a gay nightclub in Colorado Springs and opened fire. By the time he was subdued by patrons, he had murdered 5 people and injured another 25. You've seen this story before, but no matter how many times you've seen it, it never stops being horrifying. And it shouldn't stop. Violence and cruelty should always horrify us every single time. When we start to become cynical about the deaths of other human beings, we have lost something essential to our humanity. Unfortunately, you're seeing that. So the most obvious question is, why did Anderson Lee Aldrich shoot 30 people? And the truth is, we don't know.
Whoa.
He was clearly a troubled person. Last summer, he threatened to blow up his mother's house with a bomb. Authorities had to evacuate the neighborhood during the 4-hour standoff that ensued. Eventually, he surrendered.
You're seeing this video first on CNN that shows the alleged gunman, 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich, surrendering to law enforcement. This is just a year ago, in June of 2021, after allegedly making a bomb threat on his own mother.
So after that happened, he, of course, was arrested and charged with first-degree kidnapping and felony menacing. But then the local district attorney, a man called Michael J. Allen, did not pursue charges. Why? We reached out to Allen's office today to find out why, but he did not get back to us, so we can only guess.
That sucks.
We do know what the effect was. Because Aldrich was never charged with a crime and his arrest record was sealed, his
Wait, hold on. Did he just say... Hold on.
The neighborhood during the 4-hour standoff. So the most obvious question is, why did Anderson Lee Aldrich shoot 30 people? And the truth is, we don't know. We do know he was clearly a troubled person. Last summer, he threatened to blow up.
So he said, we don't know. Okay. Now, he said it's inconsiderate to kind of speculate if you don't know.
His mother's house.
Then he goes ahead and says,
did not pursue charges. Why? We reached out to Allen's office today to find out why, but he did not get back to us, so we can only guess.
Oh, so we can guess. Okay. Check this out. All right. We can only guess. All right. I'm not the smartest guy. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there. I know some of you guys just look at me like this guy's a fucking genius. I know. Let me go ahead and try to break this down. Okay. It would be different, and I could understand if somebody ran into a Walmart, a park, and decided to conflict danger, harm, a terrorist attack. And it would be disingenuous for me to say that person went into that Walmart to kill a whole bunch of black people. Just like that incident that happened a few months ago. White boy drove dozens of miles to go to a particular area that's heavily filled with black population and shot up a store. And some people like, hey, it wasn't racially motivated, which, I mean, he had a manifesto. That right there, some people can say, no, he just went here and just wanted to shoot up a store. And it's like, I can't really say he did. The proof is not fully there, okay? That argument could be made. But if someone goes to a nightclub that's for LGBTQ people and they're literally having a drag show, it's hard to tell me that somebody didn't go there purposely to target a specific group of people. That is too specific, at least in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? If I want to attack Minnie Mouse and the Mickey Club, I'm going to go to Disney for that. Do you see how that works? If somebody wants to attack black people, where would you go? Go to a black church. So it's weird how he's trying to pretend like, oh, this is like a random attack, and it wasn't really, you know, our rhetoric that pushed this guy over the edge. It was just a random attack from a crazy person.
Because Aldrich was never charged with a crime and his arrest record was sealed, his violent past did not show up in background checks. Threatening to murder his own mother did not prevent him from buying a firearm, even under Colorado's so-called red flag law.
Yeah, we need more
to prevent that very thing. So those are the facts. That's what we know.
So can we is Tucker calling for stricter gun laws? I'm down with it. Obviously the red flags in Colorado is not working, or it failed in that instance. So let's turn it up a little bit. I wonder if he's hinting towards that. It sounds like he is to me. Like, it didn't work. We don't want this to happen again, right? So let's go ahead and crank it up a little bit. I wouldn't mind it.
Once again, authorities failed to keep the public safe. They didn't do their job. You may recognize now a pattern, because you have seen that before. As for Aldrich's motive in shooting strangers, we can only guess. And we're not going to guess.
No.
Because guessing would be dishonest and irresponsible. You can't just make up a story because it suits.
But you just said you're guessing about the other guy and why he failed to do what he's supposed to do. But you're literally saying that you're going to, you don't want to guess when it comes to. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you guys see what I'm saying? When you're trying so hard to be disingenuous, when you're trying so hard to like craft a crazy burger, I don't know if that's a thing, but when you're in the middle of not trying to cross your own lies and and put yourself in the crosshairs, really, you end up doing it because it's too much going on. You're trying to thread too many needles here. You're going to do that, and he just did. He wanted to guess with old boy, but here he says we're not going to guess. That's inappropriate.
Your pre-existing beliefs. But more to the point, we're not going to guess because it would dishonor the memory of the people who were just murdered in Colorado Springs. These were human beings. They were Americans. They were not props in a larger ideological war. And to reduce them to that is wrong. That's exactly.
Now, if this was not Tucker Carlson saying this, I would believe that he believes what he's saying. But unfortunately, this is Tucker, and I don't believe him. Now, he's saying this will be dishonoring people who lost loved ones, honoring the people who had their lives taken. I would want to know what the hell happened. How is it dishonoring if you're trying to figure out the motive behind this shooting? And like I said, it's not hard to figure out. Just do a little critical thinking. Do a little common sense thinking. He went to a specific spot that's known. And from what I hear, the only place in Colorado Springs, because Colorado Springs is real conservative, so it's not like they have just gay bars everywhere. They don't. So this place is known throughout Colorado that this is the spot if you want a safe haven, if you're LGBTQ. This is the spot. So he went to this specific spot with a specific type of people here. I mean, can't you put two and two together? Now, is it disingenuous to try to figure out why was this place attacked? Oh man, do you think that the Republican Party, at least 90% of them, are spewing hateful rhetoric against trans people, against the drag community? Maybe. No. We can't talk about that because what is it? We're gonna dishonor those who lost their lives and their loved ones. So we can't talk about that right now. No. Oh, gun control, gun law. No. We're not gonna talk about that just yet because it's dishonoring those who lost their lives to gun violence. I think it's the exact opposite. I think we need to talk about these things so these things don't continue to happen. Maybe that's a crazy idea. I'm sure that's crazy. But let's go ahead and see Boebert. Now, of course, she represents Colorado.
As a Republican congresswoman from Colorado, Lauren Boebert thought that she would provide some cover for herself and fellow conservatives who have been spewing vile anti-LGBTQ garbage. And of course, this is after the gay nightclub shooting in Colorado, where 5 people were gunned down, dozens of others were injured. She says of that shooting, the news out of Colorado Springs is absolutely awful. This morning, the victims and their families are in my prayers.
No, they're not. Shut up, Lauren Boebert, you liar.
And then she finishes with, this lawless violence needs to end and end quickly. Okay, well, so what she's trying to do here, it's very clear. She's trying to blame this, which is already being investigated as a hate crime.
Oh,
the
wow,
shooter
I wonder how.
Is currently facing 5 hate crime charges, right? She's trying to make it seem like, no, it has nothing to do with hate crime. No, it's part of this crime wave. That's what this is, right? The lawless violence. No, why don't we talk about your rhetoric as a United States Congresswoman toward the LGBTQ community and specifically the transgender community, because this shooting happened just as they were supposed to celebrate the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which takes place on November 20th. It's an annual observance that honors the memory of transgender people whose lives were lost with anti-transgender violence, right? Well, let me show you what anti-transgender rhetoric sounds like, which tends to lead to insane lunatics committing anti-transgender violence.
Let's go ahead, come on.
Lauren Boebert getting a lot of attention for her strong views on the Equality Act and plenty of pushback as well.
There's nothing about equality in that act. If anything, it's supremacy of gays and lesbians and transvestites.
Where is the equality for women who have been sexually assaulted? Under this legislation, their crisis counselor may be Alexis,
Ooh.
who was actually born Alex.
Uh-oh.
And they'll have to talk to him about their assault.
It's kind of like what we've been seeing on the national news. You know, like when a common athlete decides he feels pretty and wants to be a girl, then he can go and beat girls and win national championships.
Where is the equality in this legislation for the young girls across America who will have to look behind their backs as they change in their school locker rooms just to make sure there isn't a confused man trying to catch a peek?
It puts little girls at risk, allowing confused men to go into women's restrooms. I mean, I don't want little girls, you know, watching their back, seeing if a man is trying to catch a peek at them.
Now that's a secret right there. That is the secret sauce right there. To use kids as a prop in their attack against the LGBTQ community. Like, all you got to do is put kids in anything and it will be the thing to get people's attention. Just like in scary movies. It's a little crazy, you know, gory, scary to see grown folks being chased by Jason or Freddy Krueger. But it's something different when kids are involved. You know, it kind of pulls on you a little bit more because kids are fragile. They need protecting. They, you know, if you're a parent, you really see that. You know what I'm saying? So what she did there was little girls are going to have to wash their back in the bathroom because you don't know what grown man is lurking behind the stalls. It's like, how many stories have you heard? None in Colorado for me. And I live in Denver. This is a big city. And I haven't heard any stories of that. But she's making it seem like this is happening in every locker room, in high school. Guys, you got to protect your little girls. And what do you think these parents are going to think? I need to protect my kids, which you should. But they're aiming all this at a group of people who don't, 9 times out of 10, don't even care about your kids. But she's raising the alarm, waving flags saying your little girls are going to be attacked. Come on. All right, let's go ahead and listen to Ben. Let's see what Ben has to say. Let's see what Ben has to say.
Terrible news over the weekend as a gunman killed 5 people and injured 25 at a gay nightclub in Colorado Springs, Colorado. According to the Washington Post, at least 5 people were killed, 25 were injured after a man with a rifle walked into an LGBTQ nightclub here and opened fire, according to law enforcement officials who credited 1 or more clubgoers with subduing the shooter before more people were hurt. The FBI is assisting with the investigation, which officials said is in its early stages. As of Sunday morning, local and federal officials were trying to piece together details about the attack, including what may have led the gunman to the club, the suspect's criminal history, and how the shooter came to possess the weapon the officials say was used in the attack. Charges will probably include first-degree murder, of course, because it is apparently first-degree murder. Around 11:57 p.m. Saturday, police received a call about a shooting at Club Q on North Academy Boulevard. Lieutenant Pamela Castro, a spokesperson for the Colorado Springs Police, told reporters. Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers said the first officer arrived on the scene within 3 minutes after being dispatched. The suspect was subdued within 2 minutes after that. One person inside the club just before midnight, a person named Joshua Thurman, told the Post that people were dancing as shots began to ring out. We heard the music, and then we heard pop, 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 pop. That was it, so I kept on dancing, said Thurman. When I heard another set of shots go off, that's when it clicked in my mind, and that's when I immediately took off and ran for cover. A patron did tackle the gunman inside the club and prevented him from killing more people. So, obviously, heroic action by somebody who was there to prevent more murder. Nick Greshka is one of the club's co-owners. He said that he and his co-owner had reviewed surveillance video that showed the gunman entering the building and immediately beginning to fire. He says, I don't even know the names of the people who held him down. What they did is incredible. Club Q, which is the name of the club, did have an active shooter protocol, which Grishka's co-owner, Matthew Haynes, had said followed to the letter. The 2 owners arrived at the scene minutes after the shooting and gave surveillance camera footage to the investigators. So this immediately raised questions as to who exactly the shooter was. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the shooter is a 22-year-old with a, as you would guess, serious history of violent imprecations. A person with the same name, address, and date of birth as the suspect was arrested in June 2021 and charged in connection with making a bomb threat in the Lauriston Ranch community, a suburb of modest single-family homes on the southeastern outskirts of Colorado Springs in El Paso County. According to a sheriff's office report at the time, a woman had called the sheriff's office to say that her son was threatening to hurt her with a homemade bomb and other weapons. According to the report, after a nearly 1 hour standoff.
So what they're doing here is using his history to kind of gray off, or blur the lines and be like, it was just a crazy person. It wasn't like a direct attack. It wasn't, he didn't go to this place specifically looking for this group of people. He was just crazy. So let me go ahead and tell you his whole entire background, so it could kind of like muddy the waters. Like, well, he did this and he stole a cheeseburger at Walmart and he's just a crazy nut job, mental illness. That's what it was. That's pretty much what he's doing right here.
Shooter, or a person with the same name, surrendered without incident. No bomb was found, according to the sheriff's office. So once again, we have the specter of a probably insane person committing a mass murder. The question is how this person got his hands on weaponry, why this person wasn't under psychiatric evaluation. This person was known to law enforcement, is what we are learning. This person had threatened his own family. Again, this is a common thread among mass shooters, is that they threaten members of their own family. This happened obviously at Sandy Hook. This happened also in Parkland. The pattern here obviously is person with significant violent tendencies known to law enforcement who has threatened members of his own family. That's a good place to start when you're looking for trying to screen out possible shooters. Now, this has not prevented the entire political and media left from immediately determining that what this was probably a conservative Christian who just randomly decided to get up from a church and go murder a bunch of gay people at a gay club. This is the line that is being taken by every member of the left, which is, if you oppose same-sex marriage, or if you don't like Drag Queen Story Hour, or if you think that children should not be indoctrinated into radical gender ideology or into the alternative lifestyle ideology that suggests that all forms of sexual activity are equally meritorious, that if you're a person who believes, in other words, in traditional social values, this means that you bear responsibility for a whack job murdering gay people at a nightclub.
No. He's partially right. Okay. I believe in marriage should be between a man and a woman. I'm a Christian. I believe that. That's my personal beliefs. But you're not going to hear me demonize and attack people who believe in something different. You're not going to hear me say that. You're not going to hear me say these people are evil. These people are bad. They're a bad example of civilization. These gay people are going to have the whole world turn gay and the population is just going to go to zero because everybody's gay in the world. You're not going to hear me say that. You're just going to hear me say, I don't agree with that. That's just my personal beliefs. Do what you want, though. Simple. But no. Just like he just ran through his whole entire list. They spend day after day after day attacking people, making them seem like they're the scum of the earth, making it seem like they're breaking America's traditional values. They're attacking marriage as if it's like some, poor damsel in distress. It's just what we believe. Essentially, it's just what I believe. It's nothing to it. If a man marries a man, it's not gonna harm me. It's not gonna harm the Constitution of marriage. It's just something we made up. Simple as that. So I don't understand why he's pretending as if that kind of rhetoric and spicing it up as if this is going to destroy people's way of living. like they do. Like I said, Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro, they spend hours talking about this stuff. And not just talking about it as in a conversation. They attack these people hours after hours. What do you think is going to happen?
This is the going line today. President Biden said in a statement Sunday, although the motive is not yet clear, we know gun violence has a particular impact on LGBTQI plus communities across our nation, which is a weird statement because the truth is that LGBTQI plus people are traditionally not as gun owning as, for example, more traditionally minded Americans. But, okay, says we must address this public health epidemic of gun violence in all forms. We must drive out the inequities that contribute to violence against LGBTQI plus people. I don't even know what that means. The inequities that contribute to violence against LG, like what? We're gonna give tax rebates to people, and this is somehow going to prevent insane mass shooters from murdering gay and lesbian people at a nightclub?
Okay, Ben.
But this is the line. The line that is going here is that if you really wish to prevent violence against gay clubs, this means you have to support every element of the progressive agenda, or you are complicit. And this is a game that only gets played by one side of the political aisle.
Okay, Ben. Nobody is saying you have to agree with everything people on the left are saying. I don't even agree with everything people on the left say. I don't agree with that. But that doesn't mean you go on the opposite side, go further on the opposite side, and start attacking these people. You can disagree with somebody without attacking a group of people. You can disagree with a group of people and not go full demonizing that group of people. Why can't people figure out that line? And he's supposed to be the smartest one out of the crazy bunch on the right side. He's supposed to be the smartest one. And it is stupid to me that he's pretending to not understand that.
Again and again and again, we see in public life, when there is a threat against a person of the right, when there is an attack by a member of a left-wing organization or an intersectional identity associated with the left against someone else, that we don't tie that to a broader ideology. We don't attempt to suggest that it's the fault of everyone who has general beliefs in a broader social system. Instead, we...
Yeah, because nobody on the left is targeting people on the right in that sense. Like, the only thing I could think of is like, what did it say? Tax the rich or eat the rich or something like that. That's probably the most like graphic thing that I've heard from the left. But what do you think people are doing? Like shooting up wealthy businesses in the name of livable wages? Are people going into hospitals and shooting up hospitals in the name of healthcare for all? No, because that doesn't make any sense. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody is doing these things for the sake of progressives and what they're trying to accomplish. Democrats, for the most part, are not attacking rich people in a sense of we need to kill these people. We need to watch these people because they're going to continue to steal our money. Yeah, but we're not putting we're not twisting this into rich people are going to kidnap our kids and sell their body parts to the black market. Like no, we're not doing that. But who is? Republicans. Grifters like this. Like Matt Walsh is saying, remember he said on Joe Rogan, millions of kids across the United States are being tricked and forced into these transitions from boy to girl and girl to boy and puberty blockers. Oh, they're just selling them like candy. And what was some of the numbers we found out that it really was in the past 5 years? Less than 5,000 kids. But he said millions. He said millions of kids to spice up the story, to make it seem like it's urgent. We need to protect our kids. We need to protect our kids from the Democrats. We need to protect our kids from these gay people and these drag people because they're in our schools. They're in our stores. They're all around us. You don't know who it is. That sounds a little crazy to me. That sounds like you're specifically aiming at a group of people with a sense of urgency. How is that hard to understand? Come on, Ben, you have more subscribers than me. You should be smarter than me, right? That's what idiots say in my comments all the time. Come on.
We say, well, that's an individual and he believes an extreme thing, and that person ought to be ostracized, obviously. But when it comes to the right, then the idea is that if a person who we don't even know what his views are on any of this stuff yet, even if it turns out this person has a manifesto that is wildly, horrifically anti-gay, for example, does that mean that everybody who believes that same-sex marriage is wrong, a societally approved same-sex marriage is wrong? Does that mean everybody is now guilty for a person?
No. Just you and your friends, Ben. Just you and your friends. Because you guys are the ones spouting this crazy, demonizing, hateful rhetoric on a day-to-day basis. Matt Walsh built his following off of that. He's having tours saying that these trans people are mutilating your kids. He's literally saying that. And like I said, people hold kids closer to their hearts. That's why they put these kids in these scary movies, because they know it's going to have people reacting a certain way to it. That's what you guys are doing, Ben. Ben. Why? Why are you playing dumb here? And he said, just, like if why has Ben the smartest dumb guy I've ever seen on YouTube?
Person who goes and shoots up a nightclub. This sort of game is really ugly. It's really hideous. And again, it is only played by one side of the political aisle. I've been saying for my entire career, as far as I'm aware, that when you have an act of violence and the person who commits that act of violence is a whack job who is misinterpreting the words of a movement or a politician, that person is not reflective of the movement or politician. When a Black Lives Matter fellow traveler murders Dallas police officers in 2015, that is not the fault of Barack Obama. It's actually not even the fault of Black Lives Matter. When Bernie Sanders,
What? Bro, that's a lie. Bro, I'm gonna find a video. They blame everything on Black Lives Matter and Antifa. I don't even know who Antifa is. Like, it's just random people that claim to be Antifa. It's like, okay, I guess. And they make it seem like Black Lives Matter is like some sort of gang or something. So Ben, what are you talking about? Oh, I hope I can find that video.
Sanders supporter shoots up a congressional baseball game. That's not the fault of Bernie Sanders. And yet,
but Bernie Sanders is not even close to targeting whoever's playing baseball or not even a little bit. If anything, it's rich folks. It's greedy, wealthy people. Now, if people are targeting wealthy people and killing wealthy people, then we could be like, hey, let's take a look here. Let's try to figure some things out. But that's not happening. Because regular people like us who see these wealthy people, we're not crazy enough to go out and, because the best way to fight that is through policy and voting and speaking up against power. But how do you fight the rhetoric of these trans people, these drag people are trying to indoctrinate your kids to be gay. Policy, from how they say it, is not going to save it. Democrats are running the world. They're stealing elections to turn your kids gay, to peep in the bathroom of your little girl. Do you think parents are really going to just sit back and let that happen? I wouldn't. If that was really happening, I'm not going to wait for Biden to pass some sort of bill or something. No, I'm going to take action. But if you're saying that to somebody who has a couple of screws loose in their head, what do you think is going to happen? Or they just don't like gay people. They don't even have to have kids. But you're spewing enough gay hatred out there, that's going to happen. Ben?
The entire left-wing media infrastructure and Democratic Party will immediately shift into, if you don't support every element of our radical social agenda, then you are responsible for murder. It's an ugly, stupid game that is directed specifically at silencing people who disagree with you.
Oh, shut up, Ben.
And you're seeing the media
please,
do this
I wish you
immediately.
I wish.
So the idea here is that this is tied to a broader movement. And you again see this over and over again from the left. So Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez being irrepressibly foolish. She had a series of tweets on this. So Lauren Boebert, who represents this area, she tweeted out, "The news out of Colorado Springs is absolutely awful. This morning, the victims and their families are in my prayers. The lawless violence needs to end and end quickly." Which is a fine statement. There's nothing wrong with that statement. AOC immediately tweeted, "Lauren Boebert, you have played a major role in elevating anti-LGBT plus hate rhetoric and anti-trans lies while spending your time in Congress blocking even the most common sense gun safety laws. You don't get to thoughts and prayers your way out of this. Look inward and change. Unless you reflect the progressive ideology of AOC, you are responsible for murder." So again, if you say the boys are boys and girls are girls, and if you say that we should not surgically mutilate 16-year-old girls who wrongly believe they are boys, this means that you are complicit in a person who had a history of threatening his own mother with a bomb, shooting a bunch of gay people at a nightclub in Colorado Springs. This is the take from AOC. And then she broadened this out. She said, "After Trump elevated anti-immigrant and anti-Latino rhetoric, we had the deadliest anti-Latino shooting in modern history. After anti-Asian hate with COVID, Atlanta, Tree of Life, Emmanuel AME, Buffalo. And now after an LGBT plus campaign, anti-LGBT plus campaign, Colorado Springs. Connect the dots, GOP." Well, the problem is that those dots don't connect. I mean, first of all, the quote-unquote anti-Asian hate attack in Atlanta was directed against sex workers. Right? That's what it was. And when she suggests that Emmanuel AME is the fault of Donald Trump, which is what she's suggesting there, Emmanuel AME happened, I checked the date, the day after Donald Trump announced for the presidency. He was not there's no relationship there. When it comes to the Buffalo shooter in his manifesto actively dissociates from Trump. If we're going to talk about anti-LGBT rhetoric and attacks, the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting was not connected with quote-unquote right-wing rhetoric. It was connected with a person who appeared to be a radical Muslim. Like the only dots that connect here are that law enforcement has all of these people on their screen and they miss every single one of them. That's the dot that apparently needs to be connected. But again, the idea here from AOC and company.
All right, Ben. All right, I can't take too much of you. Bro, like I said, I just got a small bandwidth to deal with people just like that. It just drives me crazy. Bottom line. All right, take a listen. If you have a platform and Ben has 5 million subscribers, okay, probably more on Twitter, a couple thousands on Instagram, okay, probably even TikTok. I don't know. I'm not on TikTok. You have to be very aware on what you talk about and how you're delivering that to people. Like I said, you don't know who's listening to you. You might even be in good faith trying to present your opinion on something or what you believe in. But you never know who's listening to you. And like I say, you don't really see this flipped around, someone going into a Walmart and leaving a note saying that minimum wage needs to be higher and healthcare needs to be for everybody for free. So I'm going to kill as many wealthy people as I can in Walmart. Like, you don't see that. You don't see that. But what you do see is for the past year, it feels like for the past year is these key people with millions of people listening. If you added Walsh, Ben, all the other weirdos, Candace Owens, politicians, and even the president, add all their following up, you have a lot of people listening, and they're all pumping the same garbage to who knows who's listening, that these people are after your kids. These people want to steal your kids and brainwash them. And they want to peek in the bathroom. And they want to cause harm to your little girl. What do you think is going to happen? That's simple, Ben. That's connecting the dots. I don't know why.